Hi, my name is Pina Macku. Here I go by Macku, and you are listening to CIDI 99.1. Well, I am a Czech origin also, and I definitely never dreamt about being an artist. I was dreaming about being a surgeon, but that obviously didn't happen. So I studied psychology instead, and when I was about 20, I emigrated with my then already husband to Switzerland. In Switzerland, I was a little panicky because I didn't finish my studies, so I tried to finish my study. I decided to study movement, so I became a teacher, movement teacher, and that's what I do till today. I teach movement. About 10 years into living in Switzerland, we decided to learn English. So where would we learn English? In Quebec. So we came here, and we built a house with our own hands. And I was still teaching, but then when everybody left the house, I was kind of in a situation where I had to support myself, and that's where my artistic ambition came to life, because in a situation where I had to provide for myself, because we were brought up as boys almost with the tools, power tools in our hands, my two sisters and me. So I said, well, why don't I do something with that? So I started to do the sculptures. I like it very much. So because it's something what I feel I don't have to be so serious about. I can put some humor in it, and it's something what obviously it's liked. People like it and buy it. So that's my goal. I wouldn't even say it's art, it's more like craft. So I do that, and the most of the time takes my bed and breakfast. Yeah, it's nice, and sometimes people appreciate what I'm doing and appreciate the nature and the house. And then I used to teach a lot, even in Alton, like ballet, jazz with the kids, gymnastics, and then one day I just figured they have to have somebody younger, more energetic, more contemporary. So now I'm teaching just people like me. And it was funny because yesterday one of my students told me, Pina, I'm in your class for 36 years. So it was kind of wow. So I teach over 40 years here, because we came to Sutton in '79. Growing up as I did, we were very frugal, and I think the recycling part, it's what I would say, it's the base. I like things that, especially like the tools, the old tools, I find them like piece of art itself. Sometimes I feel even bad that I cut a piece off or something like this. And the same with textile. I mean, I feel like, you know, there are things that can be reused and have a new life. So I think that was my main content of my art. And I like to put things together, you know. People sometimes ask me, where do you get this idea? I say, well, the ideas are not a problem. It's the execution that's work. But, you know, I just see it right away, or the colors, what gets well together and stuff. So it's like breathing air. I always, I feel like the creativity, it's really a part of who I am, because as I was not being an artist. I was sewing for my girls. I was making them elaborate birthday cake. Once I made them a Sutton ski lift with you could turn on the chairs and you could. So I always liked to work with my hands, and I think basically to become a full-fledged craft person was when I was in a situation where I had to make money. I was surprised that it brought me a much deeper satisfaction, and actually when I work on my art I feel somehow connected. I think a favorite piece of art is always the one that I am working on. I have few people that I kind of let myself inspire. It's a German lady that does welding. Her name is Chris Kircher. And then it's one guy in Spain. His name is Oriol Cabrero. And those are people that I, look up. And one is Christian Waltz. I think he lives in France. But I would say more like from the local artists. I have two people that inspire me, not their art necessarily, but their capacity to reinvent themselves all the time. One is Liz Davidson, who I think every time she came with something new, it was honest, it was close to her soul, and genuine art. And I also like Brigitte Normandin. I never fail. You can't expect in life that you will always be on top. So sometimes, I mean, my marriage failed, but do I feel it as a failure? No, it's a new start, it's a new opportunity to find out who you are. And I think the fact that my life was, a try and tribulation makes you stronger, makes you can also risk more. And I feel as you get older, some people start to retreat. I see the completely different. I find the older you are, the more you can risk, because you know who you are. And I think if it doesn't work, so who cares? You don't have a peer pressure like you have when you are 25 or something, and that's it. So no failure. I feel one have to be honest. You can't go into teaching when you hate kids. You can go into art when you feel you will have an easy life and you will have good public relation to sell whatever garbage you do. So I feel if you are honest and you have the courage to fail, then you are on the best way. Because I was supposed to have an expo in Switzerland in just about a month after the COVID lockdown came. So that was a bummer. It was a bummer, but on the other hand, like people ask me all the time, so did you postpone? I said, at my stage in life, I don't really have to spruce up my career or whatever and prove myself anything. So if it didn't work out, I just gave it up. But I was kind of proud of myself that I kicked my, and that I actually went for it, and I prepared. I was about to promote Sutton, because in Sutton it's the biggest Swiss national Fête Nationale outside of Switzerland. There are thousands of people. They come to celebrate the Swiss National Day. So I was about to promote it and all kind of things, but that didn't happen. But other than that, I must say COVID was good for me. Well, I have my best friend and my daughter. They were both studying art just now, recently. It seemed that the most important part of being an artist is how you are able to promote your art, how you are selling yourself. I find it a little bit sad, because I find, you know, if you have a piece of art, you don't have to write an article about it so people are touched by it. If it's not there, then it's a fake, in my opinion. So I feel there is this being marketable. It's more important that that people really put their soul in it. But not everybody. I mean, there are a lot of talent, a lot of great artists, and I hope, you know, I always feel like everything moves like a pendulum. So if you go to an extreme on one side, it will have a tendency to go back. And going back, it doesn't mean on the same level. It might be, you know, going in waves. Well, I think my inspiration is basically the material I work with. And generally in life, if I don't feel like doing anything, I try to think of something what I at least a little bit feel like doing, and I do it. If it's art, or if you think snowshoes on and go in the forest, or bake a cake, or call my sister, or whatever, so that I get out of this limbo. Because I mean, that's what I find it's the most challenging, be living by myself, that all the motivation, all the energy, it's self, you know, it's a self-motivation that you have to, nobody's there say, wow, you did a great job. So I think it's mostly that I try to get out of the inactivity into any kind of activity. And I must say also what helps me, it's my classes, because that's the only thing I have to do. I mean, I know even if I don't feel like moving a finger, I have to get up and do it. So it's, but I never am so, you know, I don't know, maybe after living so long, you kind of learn to cope with life and yourself mostly. I must say I hate repetition. I hate rituals. I tried, if it's, as I heard once on the radio, if there's 1,000 ways to wash the dishes, I am the one that does it. So basically, I feel like, as I said, I'm inspired by my material. So if I feel like, okay, I should start, or I won't have any stock for the Tourisar, I get my materials, and then I say, oh no, I don't feel like doing this, I don't feel like doing this, but this I could start. And when I start, and usually the more I do it, the more ideas I have, and the more into it I am. So that's basically how I do it. I think what it's for me, it's important that my art is affordable, that people can actually, if they like it, that they can get it. And if I see somebody doesn't have the means, I usually give it to them. So I feel like definitely with my sculpture, I want the humor be a big part of it, because when you bring a smile on somebody's face, that's all. You could consider it a life quest. So that's it. And for the clothing, it's kind of, if a woman feels beautiful when she puts a hat on from me, then I never ever tell people that they look good if they don't. So it's them to decide if they feel looking good. So I think I want to share it. I think sharing it, even with the B&B, I feel like I want to share what I have. And the fact that I got a talent, it's not my doing. I mean, I got it from somewhere. I don't want to say there, but in the genetics. Yeah, so I think I want to share. I think I like people, kind of, not unconditionally. I wouldn't say I'm a saint or whatever, but I mean, I love teaching. Like, let's say from my B&B, my best experience is when I had an old lady. She was older than me, and we talked and whatever, and she said, you know, my dream was to play a piano, but I don't have the guts. But then she sent me a card and she said, you know, after I had experience to be with you, I see what you have the guts to do. I started my piano lessons. So that's what I feel it's the greatest kind of achievement, that, or if somebody buys my sculpture, say, you know, my daughter put it on the wall and she's so happy, or that's, I think it's my motivation, yeah. Well, you can find me here. Because of the B&B, I'm here like most of the time. I love when people call and say, can I come and see your work? I used to be in all kind of co-ops and stuff, but and when I was younger I did different like craft shows, but I don't do it anymore. So the sculptures, they are only here. And I am not going to start sell them online or anything like that. What I do the most, it's the Pinterest, where I have my stuff there, and it's also where I look for, you know, inspiration slash whatever, which goes into the category to try something what you are almost sure you will fail, and that was acting, my acting career. And I was working with Emma Stevens, that it's like she started the Knowlton Theatre, and Mary Harvey, who is also a British actress, and Giza Israel. There are three ladies, and they asked me to do the play with them, which was a perfect experience. First of all, I had to put my brain into higher gear to concentrate really on something for the 2 hours that the show was on. And secondly, which I learned already when I was doing the movement school, they always were like, you know, oh my God, we are going on. And they always say, Pina, are you scared? Are you? I said, you know what? I leave Pina behind, and my babka, my character, knows what she's going to do, and she's going on the stage, not me. And that was, I think, for me, a huge also experience, practical experience, that you can act and have a third eye saying, do I look better from this side or this side? You have to be there. And I think that was a good lesson in my life.